Bamboo Moon by Shanna Driscoll Salvato. 4:25 a.m., biggest full moon of the year. Alone downstairs, sitting on the floor. Design drawing 3800 09107 HB pencil with gold letters. Black paint, dull point, no eraser. Blank white paper. The sudden urge to notice every detail, seeing things in ways I had never seen them before. Awareness heightened, senses keen. A pencil has 6 sides? How many pencils had I held in my life? How many times have I seen my own hand, but how well can I draw it? As the room brightened with the rising sun, the pencil was suddenly dark green, not black. I've always paid very close attention to detail, haven't I? Laughter. Suddenly I felt as if I had not been truly paying attention all of these 38 years, 10 months, and 22 days. I have not been truly giving my life's energy in exchange for that which presents itself to me. Attention. At tension. It is at the point of tension that the key unlocks the door. Click. I am at the point of tension, and I'm suddenly paying attention. The key. I have been holding the key for a long time now. I have known that it has been in my possession. I have felt its weight. I have traced its curves and straight lines. I also knew the door was there. I have seen its weathered front. I have felt its grooves. I have smelled its grains. But the keyhole? The keyhole. I never even considered that there was a keyhole. How could I possibly open a door with this beautiful key in my possession if I wasn't searching for the right hole into which I could insert it? Suddenly, the keyhole revealed itself. There it was, right in front of me in my sleepy delirium, its shape clearly revealed only by my myopic sight in those early morning hours, my squinting eyes morphing the perfectly round moon into this living symbol, an invitation. Beams from the year's strongest full moon shone through it. Rays appeared out of all of the vertices. It was at that moment that I knew that an idea had been conceived. It came to me and through me as it could come to and through no other, just as no other's idea could come to or through me. And there it was. You have held the key for a very long time now. You have been searching for the right door, but you never looked at the key. You neglected to see that it wasn't the right door you needed to look for, but the right keyhole. Go ahead. Try your key. Take the risk. See if it fits. Turn it. When you begin to feel the delicate balance between tension and release, be ready for the doors to swing open, because there is not only one door, there are 2. It isn't the moon itself that shines, but the sun's light on it. I happen to be just at the right place in the universe at just the right time in order to see it. There I lay, the bamboo shades over the 2 tall windows facing the garden, drawn yet revealing the glowing moon. When I awoke, the moon was perfectly centered. As my mind wandered, the moon shifted into place, right into the place of a doorknob, on the left of what now appeared to be double doors. This symbol was my keyhole revealed with the moon's light beaming through, the moonbeams so intense that even the birds mistook them for the rising sun. Tracing my tension. I awakened in the middle of the night with frustration when my son awoke in his discomfort. Lately, he had been sleeping the restless sleep of a 3-year-old. As I lie there, now awake, waiting to see if he would go back to sleep, to my surprise, my older child's sweet voice called out to her brother, "Mommy is in the other bed. Do you want me to take you to her?" "Okay, I can take you to her if you want." Frustration was replaced by a spontaneous, broad smile. Although my younger child said, "No," he found his own way, and his older sister followed. There I lay, my firstborn to my left, my youngest to my right, upside down, head on my right thigh and feet near my face, my husband on the other side of our son. I was immobile, surrounded with love. The awakening. This is how I was roused from my sleep that night. I had gone to bed the last 2 nights asking for a revelation through a dream. For months I had been having an intense feeling of being ready for something new. 17 years of working for other people, and I began to feel like I was walking around with a ceiling over my head. Laws and regulations. This is something else we just have to do. A new direction, but I didn't know where or what that was. No revealing dreams. To my complete surprise, the revelation came as I awoke. Moonlight spilled over me. I felt my heart open. I was flooded with moonbeams, and the new direction revealed itself as I began to trust this experience in my sleepy delirium. Trust and patience both came to accompany me on my journey. Trust, like in the dream I had of meeting my husband years before at an encounter that was more than chance. And patience, my father's lesson. Don't force something that isn't moving or it can break. Find out why it isn't moving. The same trust and patience that I called upon when birthing my children. I was ready to investigate this new path, to invest my time and energy into the gate which was opening before me. The path. My thoughts began to spiral, surfing the beams of the moon as I watched, an outsider, to see where they would go. I lay still and held on. I suddenly thought of two opportunities that had recently presented themselves. One, an idea manifested by me, and another, an opportunity presented from the outside. But I hadn't felt strongly enough about these opportunities to fully commit myself to either one or to make them a reality. What was it that had sparked this change? An email from the previous day. I was not expecting a reply on a Saturday night, and it did not seem like a monumental message at the time, but it led to this thought. I suddenly started to think of my current job as a training ground for my next phase. I've become very clear about what I do not want. I suddenly realized that I kept trying to link my new ideas to the old paradigm. I knew. I teach. This is what I was trained for. This is how I have been earning a living for the past 17 years. This is how I define myself. Moving from job to job when I was no longer feeling challenged. Moving on when the weight of the bureaucracy became too heavy. Many of my own ideas had come to me in those years, but I never got started. They began to accumulate so quickly that I had to write them all down. 15. 15 ideas compiled and not one actualized. The key was uniquely mine. And the door, it looked to be the right one. But I was not looking for the keyhole. I asked myself what I loved about the profession I had called mine for nearly 2 decades. I love guiding people through self-realizations that show themselves in wide eyes and spontaneous smiles. I love metaphors in all forms, visual, song, idea. I love language as a vehicle for change and growth. I love problem solving. I love details. I love to present something that I believe in, feel passionate about to people who want to hear it, something that will empower them to live more fully their life's purpose. The image of the first moonbow I remember seeing over the misty haze of the Central American cloud forest years before returned to me. I have been that moon, surrounded by the bow of my next phase. I sensed what was next. It was hovering around me so closely and so real that with outstretched arms I could have touched it. But my fingers simply passed through. I couldn't identify it. I didn't know what it was made from. I traced the path back to see how I arrived at this place. Suddenly, I awakened to consciousness. I stepped out of the box. I want to teach something I fully believe in. I want to specialize in something I feel passionate about enough to run with it. I was always content with being able to do something well enough that I could do it, to fulfill the desire to be able to do things when I never really found something I felt like I excelled at, despite always being an overachiever. Was I settling for mediocrity? There was some need to wait until things reached the point of absolute tension before I acted in so many aspects of my life. Is there a link between this and my frugality? Feeling content to make enough to live on, allow others to dictate my worth. Although I've been busy and progressing, I have become tired of the stagnant energy, leaving projects unfinished, then jumping into another one, getting by financially on what we can. I was suddenly infused with the desire to share my passion, to help others identify with theirs. Through my work, I want to walk even more lightly on earth. I want to have the resources to support the people, products, and causes that I believe in. I want to encourage and allow others to express their passions. I want to get out from under the ceiling of the system, to stop spending precious life energy rebelling against it, being notoriously late or arriving just in time, hanging on to things that are not useful or beautiful, earning just enough to get by. My idea has been conceived. I am now in the timeless space of following my bliss. Won't you join me? May your light shine so brightly that even the birds will mistake it for the rising sun.